car seat is never in the right car. Would you like to go for a ride in my van?
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. All right, we are not doing a full beach day vlog like we did last time. Today is gonna be super quick vlog down at the beach because today we're doing a is it worth it to upgrade to the GoPro Hero 9? This, by the way, is shot on the GoPro Hero 9. First, we're gonna shoot to the Oceanside and Best Buy. They're the only Best Buy in the area that currently has batteries for this camera. So I'm gonna go pick up a few spare batteries, hit the beach really quickly just to get some comparison footage between the GoPro 9 and the GoPro 8, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk about it. All right, here we go. At Best Buy, grabbing batteries. All right, batteries, got them. Next up, beach. That whole beginning bit was filmed on the GoPro 9 and it looks pretty dang good. But then while at the beach, I also filmed a lot between the GoPro Hero 8 and the GoPro Hero 9 so we could see a comparison between the two. Because today's focus in today's video is gonna be, if you have the Hero 8, should you upgrade to the Hero 9? Is this an actual large jump for GoPro, or is this just kind of one of those incremental changes? You could skip it, wait for the Hero 10. Today we're gonna go over some of the features, some of the differences between the two, and hopefully you'll be able to decide. If you have the Hero 7 or 6 or 5, upgrade. This is a massive leap from any of those cameras. Before we get into it though, hit that like button. Maybe you think about subscribing to this channel for more videos like this. Maybe comment below, talk about the GoPro. Let me know all your thoughts on the GoPro, any questions that you might have that I could address in a future video about the GoPro Hero 9. All right, the first thing we're gonna look at between the Hero 8 and the Hero 9 is physically. So physically, it is a little bit larger. You can tell it is wider, it is longer, it is taller in all directions, all dimensions. It's a little bit larger. It's not super noticeable though. If you kind of look at them side by side, you can tell that this guy's a little chunkier, but in general, it's still a GoPro. It's still very small. One really nice thing about that though is that the screen actually got larger. And while the camera itself doesn't feel massive compared to the 8, the screen actually feels quite a bit bigger. It went from a 1.95 inch screen on the GoPro Hero 8 to a 2.27 inch screen on the GoPro Hero 9. And that's a pretty big jump, and you definitely feel it while you're using the camera, while you're framing shots, you feel the larger screen. But the biggest difference, the one that I'm most excited about, is the GoPro Hero 9 added that front screen. And while the front screen is sweet, it's really good. I'm amazed that they have it. I'm very, very happy. This is 2 years now after the Osmo Action came out, and the front screen is super choppy. It's a really low frame rate. That's how they kind of solved that problem. When the Osmo Action first came out, remember it was laggy? It was like a second and a half behind. So to solve that problem and not have a laggy screen where the screen was actually a second and a half behind, they went for a low frame rate. So if I actually hit record on this one, I'm gonna, all right, let's see if you can tell my fingers in here. Now watch my fingers wiggling on screen and watch them wiggle on there. Super low frame rate. So they went with a low frame rate, that's in 5K. As you drop, so if I went to 4K or 1080, it would be a little bit higher frame rate, but at 5K, it is quite choppy. So you're really just using that front screen for framing and making sure that your exposure is okay, which is kind of what I use it for anyways. So if I had a choice, if they were gonna dumb down the camera in some way, I would prefer a lower frame rate on the front screen rather than lag. With lag, you can't frame a shot with lag. If the camera's behind behind you, you can't frame it. If it's low frame rate, you can still do it. It's just not ideal. Hopefully in a future firmware update, they'll be able to speed up that front screen a little bit. And then the second major physical change to the camera from the Hero 8 with a non-replaceable lens is the Hero 9 now has that replaceable lens. And the really crazy thing about this lens though, is that, can you see that mount in there? It's like a real solid metal mount. Like a camera mount, like a lens mount for a larger interchangeable lens camera. Compare that quickly. This is the Hero 7, and when they have the Hero 7 removable lens cover, this one's on there. See how that's just a plastic? There's all these weird teeth around it. It's just a kind of a plasticky looking mount underneath there. It was really just designed to hold that lens cover on. But on the Hero 9, with this metal mount, they've already come out with something called a Max Mod lens. So it'll be an additional lens, an even wider angle lens that you'll be able to mount on there. And we'll talk about that lens in a little bit here, but what's really exciting about that idea that there's an actual lens mount on here is third-party resellers. GoPros are all about third-party products. The accessories that go with them is what kind of makes them a special camera. Because of the third-party world and all the different accessories, you can mount a GoPro dang near anywhere. And the idea that other companies, that third-party companies could come out with different lenses. Imagine a company comes out with an actual lens that you could mount on there, and then your GoPro had a big zoom or like a crazy optical telephoto zoom. With a lens mount, you could totally do that. Or even ND filters, third-party ND filters, instead of having to strap around the camera like we had to on the 8, we can go back to mounting them on the actual camera. You could have a variable ND filter that would spin because you could mount it on the 8, but then you could have a circular lens that would spin because it's a lens mount. So that replaceable lens cover is awesome, but the idea, the potential for actual lenses that will mount to your GoPro kind of opens up a whole new world of possibilities. Very exciting. And lastly, with the bigger body does come a bigger battery. The battery on the Hero 9 is that guy, which is significantly bigger than that guy. See how much bigger this battery is than this battery? Now, the benefit to that is that we're gonna have longer recording, more photos, more everything battery-wise on this camera. The bummer of that is that I've got like 12 of the Hero 8 batteries and now they're worthless. Now I'm up to 4 batteries on the Hero 9 so far, and I'll probably get more. Always have more batteries. Always have extra batteries. And I know a ton of you are gonna really complain about that. You're really gonna complain about the idea that it takes new batteries. But to be fair to GoPro, they kept the exact same battery for the 5, 6, 7, and 8. 4 generations of their GoPros all use the exact same size battery. That was very nice of them. So now to make the jump to say, hey, we're packing a lot more technology into this camera, a bigger screen, a front screen, we need that. Oh, I didn't even mention this, but on the front screen, this is something very exciting actually, that the Osmo Action cannot do. The Osmo Action has a front screen, but the GoPro's front screen is on while the back screen is on. This is something that I've wanted on the Osmo Action for a long time. I've even emailed and written them on Twitter to be like, please do a firmware update. Make this possible so I can have the rear screen and the front screen on at the same time, and Osmo hasn't done that. Because what I wanna do is I wanna be able to film here and I wanna be able to flip it back around, talk to the camera, be able to see what we're actually filming, and then flip it back around and keep filming something else. And on the Osmo, there's that whole long press on the button, and then I can flip it, long press on the button, then it'll flip back. Huge benefit to the front screen of the GoPro having that feature. Okay, next up between these two cameras is the audio. Has the audio gotten any better? I did a comparison at the beach, which is probably the hardest audio comparison you can do because of the wind and the waves. Here's what that sounded like. All right, here's a quick audio comparison. This is the GoPro Hero 9. We're at the beach. There's a lot of background noise, so how much does it focus on my voice? And then this is the GoPro Hero 8. Same thing at the beach, lots of background noise. This is, beach in general is one of the harder tests for these cameras because of, you know, the waves. What's that?
She wants water.
Oh, more water. Okay, here we go. Could you tell any difference between the two? I kind of couldn't. I would say the audio is about the exact same from the Hero 8 to the Hero 9, except that the Hero 9 has this little door over here. right here. Do you see this little thing, this little door right there? Well, it's not a door. Don't try to open it. It's actually a microphone with a water drain, or supposedly it has a water drain. And the idea, the concept here is that a lot of times we're underwater with our GoPros and then we pop out of the water and we start talking to it. And the audio sounds really garbage. It's like, sounds like you're under a blanket when you do that. So they added this little port. And the idea is that there's a mic under there. When you pop up, it's gonna go and it's gonna shoot out the water, and then it'll hear you quickly and be able to pick up your voice. And here's an audio test of that. All right, this is actually perfect. Now that we have Eleanor's water, I'm gonna dunk both GoPros in the water. I'll pull them out, I'll start talking, we'll hear which one clears first. Supposedly, the GoPro 9 has an audio drain, or a water drain, for a microphone so it clears right away. Let's test it out. Both GoPros are out of the water. How does the audio sound on the GoPro Hero 9? Has it actually cleared faster? How does the audio sound on the GoPro Hero 8? I know it doesn't clear very fast. Yeah, so far in my testing, I have not seen a noticeable difference between the 9 and the 8 in the water dunk test. So I'm not sure if that drain mic is gonna be a firmware update. Maybe it hasn't even been turned on yet. Maybe that whole feature set is still built into a future firmware update and it'll be turned on. But so far, I've not seen any difference. It would be nice though. It's a clever idea. If it works, or they get it to work, very clever. All right, so that's most of the physical features of the two cameras against each other, but let's jump into software, because software is where things get interesting. And it's really a hardware and software thing, because the GoPro Hero 9 can now do 5K up to 30 frames a second. It can still do 4K up to 60, 2.7K up to 120, and 1080 up to 240. But the big difference there is that 5K up to 30 frames a second. So let's look at what 5K in all of its glory looks like against 4K. Let's see if you can tell the difference, which is which, 5K versus 4K. Could you spot the difference? I couldn't. Honestly, the 5K and the 4K look super similar to me. So if that's the case, then why is 5K even important? Why does it matter that this camera has 5K? A few things actually. And the first and most obvious use of 5K is the ability to crop. Even if you're making videos at 4K, I make all of my videos at 1080. So with a 5K video, I can film in 5K, and then if I want, I can go whoop, and I can crop way in without losing any video quality. Because the 5K sensor is filming like this, and the 1080 piece is only this small. So usually I'm gonna take 5K, I'm just gonna shrink it down and send it as 1080, or I can take that 5K, I can zoom in on it and again, not lose any quality. And that's an awesome ability to have when you're creating a video, but another really cool thing is stabilization. And the GoPro Hero 9 now has something called in-camera horizon leveling, something that was only available in the app before, but basically you can now take the camera and you could rock it side to side like this, up to about 30 degrees either way, and the video just stays perfectly straight. Here's a little clip of Eleanor playing on a rock, and I'm actually taking the camera and I'm shifting it side to side like this, and you really can't tell in the video. It kind of rocks back and forth, but it's because it's on this dual thing, so the camera itself is actually moving back and forth. But in the video, if you just look at her, it's not tilting. It keeps that horizon perfectly straight in the video. And then that brings us back to the max lens mod. So again, we put that max lens mod on there whenever it does come out. And what that's gonna do is create a wide angle version of a 5K video. And then within that wide angle version, this is just crazy to even say, but within that 5K version, you could take a 2.7K video, I could take the GoPro and I could spin it all the way around 360, and the video would never shift. It would just stay perfectly straight up and down. It's like do you remember my video on the Insta360 Go, this little teeny tiny camera? Well, this camera has that ability. I can take this camera and I can spin it all the way around 360, and it stays perfectly straight up and down. And now GoPro, by bringing a 5K sensor into it, by adding that max lens mod, you'll be able to take your GoPro, and no matter how crazy you get with your GoPro, the video will stay perfectly straight up and down. And that's crazy. Back in the day when we had like Hero 4s and Hero 3s, the idea that you could do that, the idea that all of this stabilization, Hypersmooth 3.0, horizon leveling, and now the ability to spin your GoPro 360 and have it look like it's on a gimbal, that's awesome. And lastly, with features is maybe my favorite feature, and it's something called Hindsight Recording. I'm gonna turn this on real quick so I can give you an example of it, because we did not do this at the beach. Okay, it is now in Hindsight Recording mode. Come on, focus. Can you see that little ticker at the top? It says 8 seconds, 9 seconds, 10 seconds, 14, 15 seconds. And it is actually loop recording those 15 seconds. So if 15 seconds before, at any point, I can touch this button and watch what happens. Touch it. And now it says 16, 17, 18, 19. It's actually been recording those last 15 seconds on a loop, and as soon as I hit the button to start recording, it starts recording, but I also capture that last 15 seconds. Okay, so why would you use this? Where does this actually come in real life? Let's say you're filming something, for instance, like motocross. You're posted up on a ramp, there's a really cool ramp, and you kind of can't see where the motorcycle is, so you're sitting there and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting, and the motorcycle comes flying, you're like, ugh, and you try to hit the button and you miss it. He's gone. So the solution to that before was just hit record, film a 10-minute clip, even though you're only looking for maybe a 4 or a 10-second spot where this motorcycle goes wow and flies through the air. Well, with Hindsight Recording, you build up that 15-second buffer. It's constantly filming, waiting and waiting and waiting. When this guy goes whoa, you hit record, you get the moment that he's flying past you, but you also get the previous 15 seconds. So he could actually fly past you, be gone, then you hit record and you would still get the clip. Because again, when you hit that button, you get whatever you film after when you hit the button, but you also get 15 seconds beforehand. And that hindsight can also be 30 seconds beforehand. So you could have it recording on a 15-second loop or a 30-second loop and get that as soon as you hit the button. Yeah, it just makes you think, how did we not think of that before? How did nobody say that would be really useful on an action camera? Now keep in mind though, this whole Hindsight Recording thing, it's a battery murderer, because while it's at 15 seconds at the top, while that little blue thing at the top says 15 seconds, that means that it is constantly recording. So you don't get standby time. It's as if you're recording video. So it significantly reduces your battery life, but it has its benefits. Huge benefits, massive benefits if you need that. If you're filming something, you're trying to capture a moment, how freaking cool is that? I'm gonna turn it off though so my battery doesn't die. And then the last major difference between the Hero 8 and the Hero 9 is photo quality. The Hero 8 is putting out a 12 megapixel photo, while the Hero 9 is putting out a 20 megapixel photo. Now I actually don't take a lot of photos on my GoPros. I mainly use my GoPros for video, but when I do take a photo on my GoPro in the past, I've been quite disappointed. And now with the GoPro Hero 9, it's actually a pretty impressive photo. A lot more detail in the image, better gradient roll-off between highlights and shadows, and just overall a better photo taking experience. I probably will take photos with my Hero 9. Traditionally, I have not taken a lot of photos with my Hero 8. All right, there's a ton more features we could go over, but those are the main ones that really stick out to me, that really matter to me. So with all that said, if you have a Hero 8 Black, should you upgrade to a Hero 9? Is this really a big upgrade or just an incremental change? For me personally, how I use action cameras, because plenty of people have told me in the past, you don't need a front screen, dude, that's stupid. And for those people, I would say then definitely don't upgrade. If the front screen really doesn't matter to you, don't upgrade. I think that's probably the biggest feature. That's the GoPro Hero 9's killer feature, is the front screen. If you were just to look at these cameras on specs, yes, you would say the GoPro Hero 9 has incrementally better specs. Yes, it has incrementally better features, but they're pretty similar. The Hero 8 is an amazing camera that can create incredible videos. The stabilization's there, the video quality's there, the color is there, pretty much everything's there. Oh, the audio is there too. The Hero 8 has one of the best audio qualities of any of the GoPros in the past. So what's the main difference between the two? It's the front screen. It's being able to hold the camera out like this and see yourself. So I would say that if that matters to you, like it matters to me, then for sure upgrade. And if it doesn't, then wait for the 10. Enjoy your Hero 8 and wait for the 10. Again though, if you have a Hero 7 or 6 or 5, this is a massive upgrade. Make the shift. All right, I hope this was helpful for you guys. If it was, hit that like button. Maybe you think about subscribing. We're gonna do a bunch more videos on the GoPro Hero 9. I'm gonna compare it to the Osmo Action, the Insta3s. We'll compare it to all kinds of stuff. And comment below. Let me know any other questions you have on the Hero 9 or any other things you want to see me go do with it. If you want an example of it, I don't know, motovlogging or skydiving or doing something crazy, let me know and I'll go do it. I'm just looking for reasons to go do fun stuff. All right, I'll see you soon.